When a pope dies, time stops, not just in the Vatican, but for over 1 billion Catholics around the world. Behind the ancient walls of the world's smallest country, a sacred ritual, over 2,000 years old, quietly begins. Every step is steeped in symbolism. Every second carries meaning, because even in death, a pope follows protocol. This is the 9-day papal funeral. From the moment his heart stops, to the moment white smoke rises above the Sistine Chapel. But what really happens behind closed doors? Who takes control when the seat of St. Peter is empty? And why do millions stare at a chimney in Rome? Today, we uncover the secrets, traditions, and deep symbolism of one of the world's most mysterious rituals. Part 1. The death is confirmed. It starts in silence. When a pope dies, the Vatican doesn't immediately make a public announcement. The first step happens privately, inside the pope's residence. The person responsible is called the Camerlengo, the Chamberlain of the Holy Roman Church. Currently, that role belongs to Cardinal Kevin Farrell, an Irish-American. He performs a historic, symbolic ritual. He gently taps the Pope's forehead 3 times with a silver hammer and calls out his baptismal name. If there's no response, the Pope is declared dead. While today's doctors use modern tools like ECG machines to confirm death, this symbolic act still matters deeply, because this moment officially marks the end of a papacy. After this, the Pope's papal ring, called the Fisherman's Ring, is taken from his hand. His papal seal is destroyed, and the papal apartment is sealed shut with red wax across the doors. This is the Church's way of saying, a chapter has closed. Part 2. Ending papal authority. The destruction of the Fisherman's Ring is more than just a dramatic gesture. This ring holds great meaning. The Fisherman's Ring is not just a piece of jewelry. It is a symbol of the Pope's power and authority. For centuries, it was used to seal important Vatican documents, proving that they came directly from the Pope. When a document had the ring's mark, everyone knew it was official and couldn't be changed or faked. Why is this so important? Because the Fisherman's Ring is unique to every pope. Each one is carefully crafted with an image of St. Peter fishing, representing the very first pope, St. Peter himself. The ring is a personal symbol of that particular pope's authority over the Church. Now, when a pope dies, the ring cannot remain in the hands of anyone else. If the ring were to fall into the wrong hands, it could be used to sign fake documents, or worse, pretend to be the Pope, and make decisions that are not truly from the Church. So, to prevent this, the Camerlengo, who is the caretaker of the papacy during this time, along with 3 cardinals chosen by lottery, performs a very special ritual. They take the Fisherman's Ring and smash it with a silver hammer, breaking it in front of everyone. This act marks the end of the Pope's reign. No more decisions, no more power. The papal seal, another important symbol, is also destroyed in the same way. The seal, which bears the Pope's personal mark, is used to authenticate all his messages. Without it, no documents can be called official. This is more than just an act of breaking objects. It is the final step in ending the authority of a pope. These items are destroyed to make sure no one can falsely claim the Pope's power. Only after this symbolic act can the Church begin to move forward, choosing the next leader. The seat of St. Peter is now truly vacant, and the Church is in transition, ready for the next chapter in its history. Part 3. Lying in state and public mourning. In the days following the Pope's death, his body is prepared for public mourning. Traditionally, popes lie in state on a raised platform, called a catafalque, inside St. Peter's Basilica. They wear red papal vestments, with a rosary placed in their hands. But Pope Francis? He has made a simpler request. He wishes to be placed in a plain wooden coffin, lined with zinc, with no elevated staging or elaborate display. Just a quiet farewell in the heart of the Vatican. For 3 to 5 days, the faithful come by the thousands to pay their respects. Some stand for hours, some weep, some pray in silence. This is not just about mourning a leader, it's about honoring a man who led the church, and about preparing for what comes next. Part 4. The Funeral and Burial. The funeral of a pope is not just a religious ceremony. It's a special moment for people around the world. It usually happens 4 to 6 days after the pope's death. The funeral takes place in St. Peter's Square, a beautiful and historic space in front of thousands of people, and broadcast to millions. The ceremony is called a Requiem Mass. This is a special church service held for someone who has passed away. But it's more than just saying goodbye. It's about celebrating the Pope's life and the work he did for the Church. World leaders, religious figures, and everyday people gather together. It's a rare moment where the world stops, just to remember one man. The music at the Mass is also very special. One of the most famous types of music used is Gregorian chant. This type of singing has been used in the Church for over 1,000 years. It's slow and peaceful, reminding us of the timeless journey of the soul. After the Mass, the Pope's coffin is carried through the crowd. People are moved to tears. Others pray quietly. Many just stand in silence. Then, it's time for the burial. Most popes are buried under St. Peter's Basilica in a special place called the Vatican Grottos. But Pope Francis wanted something different. He chose to be buried in St. Mary Major Basilica, one of Rome's oldest churches. This was a special place to him, and he visited it before and after every trip. It's a simple choice, just like his way of living. For the first time in more than 100 years, a pope will be buried outside the Vatican, a humble final resting place for a humble man. Part 5. Sede vacante, the empty seat. Once the pope is buried, the church enters a strange period. It's called sede vacante, Latin for the seat is vacant. The pope is gone. The church has no leader. The Roman Curia, the Vatican's central administration, shuts down. No new decisions, no changes, just caretaking. During this time, all eyes turn to the College of Cardinals. They will choose the next pope, but not right away. Part 6. The conclave begins. Once the pope is buried, the church moves to the next important step, choosing a new leader. This process is called the papal conclave, which means locked together in Latin. This is because the cardinals, those who will vote for the new pope, are locked inside a room until they choose one. The tradition of locking the cardinals started in the 1200s. At that time, elections took too long and were often filled with politics. So, the church decided to lock the doors. No one leaves until a new pope is chosen. The cardinals stay in a guest house called Domus Sanctae Marthae. Each cardinal gets a simple room and 3 meals a day. No phones, no internet, and no outside contact. They focus on the task at hand. The election happens in the Sistine Chapel, a stunning room with the famous painting of Michelangelo's Last Judgment on the ceiling. It reminds the cardinals that they are not just choosing a leader, they are making a decision that affects the church for years to come. Each cardinal writes down their vote on a piece of paper. They walk to the altar and place it in a silver chalice, while saying a prayer for guidance. After each round of voting, the votes are burned. If no one has enough votes, black smoke comes out of the chimney. That means the cardinals haven't yet chosen a pope. If a pope is chosen, white smoke rises, and the bells of St. Peter's ring out. This tells the world, we have a new pope. Part 7. Habemus Papam. When the white smoke appears, the excitement begins. But first, the new pope is asked a simple question. Do you accept your election? If he says yes, he chooses a new name. Pope Francis chose the name Francis after St. Francis of Assisi, a man who cared deeply for the poor and for peace. Once the name is chosen, the new pope is dressed in white robes. 3 different sizes of robes are ready, because no one knows who will be chosen. Then, the new pope steps out onto the famous balcony of St. Peter's Basilica. The crowd below is waiting to see who the new leader is. A cardinal announces the famous words, "Habemus Papam," we have a pope. The new pope then raises his hand and gives his first blessing. He may say a few words or simply ask the people to pray for him. It's a powerful moment. This is the beginning of a new chapter for the Church. It's the start of a new journey for the Pope and for all of his followers. Reflection. The funeral of a pope is more than a ceremony. It's a story of endings and beginnings, of ancient traditions surviving in the modern world. Pope Francis's papacy was marked by humility, compassion, and a desire to reform. Even in death, he has chosen simplicity over spectacle. And through that choice, he inspires millions. Once again, because the legacy of a pope doesn't end at his funeral. It lives on, in faith, in memory, and in the heart of the Church. If you found this story meaningful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories that reveal the unseen world behind world events.